The Cameroonian business. Our journey is one we share with millions of people across this great country. People who choose our brands every day. People united by our common work ethic. People who share our deep love for this nation and that indomitable spirit that sees us reach our dreams and never back down. Our story inspires them. And year after year, their stories inspire us. So as we raise our cup to UCB at 50, we also raise our glass to every Cameroonian making us proud. Here's to you, and here's to a bright future for us all. Bravo, Cameroon. Raise your glass with pride.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching My Media Prime Television. This is Prime News coming to you live from Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. With me, Fon Quinter. Let's begin today's edition of Prime News in Mamfe, Manyo Division of the Southwest region, where one person has died and two others seriously injured after gunmen attacked a financial institution in the early hours of Monday, October 10, 2022. According to sources, the armed men stormed the premises of the financial institution, killing the security guard on duty identified as Ege George Airport. Sources further revealed that an improvised explosive device installed in front of the financial institution by the gunmen was neutralized by security officials. We shall be giving you updates in subsequent editions of the news. Onto something else, a ceremony to officially inscribe the name of His Royal Majesty Mohammed Nabil Bombon Joya on the royal board of the Bamun dynasty took place on Saturday, October 8, 2022 at the Bamun Royal Palace in Fumban in the West region of Cameroon. Staff Lady Alin Sama was there and now reports.
As part of celebrations to mark the first anniversary of the passing of His Royal Majesty, Sultan King of Bamun, Ibrahim Bombon Joya, as well as the first anniversary of the accession to the throne by his successor, Mforifum Mohammed Nabil Bombon Joya, the name of the Sultan King, who has been in power for a year, was inscribed on the royal board as the 20th King of the Bamuns, as tradition demands. The high-end cultural event, which took place at the Bamun Royal Palace on Saturday, October 8, 2022, in Fumban West region of Cameroon, was marked by a colorful display of the rich cultural heritage of the Bamun people and attended by members of government and diplomatic corps, traditional authorities from across Cameroon, law enforcement officials, sons and daughters of Bamun, and friends, among others, among whom were the Lamido of Garoua, Ibrahim El Rashidin, Pierre Mukoko Bonjo, Seydou Bombo Njoya, the Fon of Nso, Sem Binglo II, Fon of Bambali, Afung Chui III, Fon of Babugo, Ndofua Zofua III, among others. My Media Prime TV caught up with Fon Ndofua Zofua III of Babugo, who greatly appreciated the culture and tradition of the Bamun people.
The people are watching to see if he's going to be a good king or if he's going to, I'm convinced he's a young dynamic man, which I'm sure he will not let his people down. We are so happy. The culture is wonderful, the culture is superb, and we can only wish him luck. Together, I'm sure we can make greater things.
The Fon of Bambali is proud of the bilateral relations shared between his fondom and Bamun.
Fumban is rich in culture, in many diversity, and I'm going back with a lot of knowledge how we can blend the one of Bambali and the one of Fumban. Thank God we have had a long-standing relationship right from my Fonawemu, from Tamkum, and I'm the third. So I'm me the third. I'm just coming to cement the relationship and see what we can gain from Fumban. When Fumban shall be able to have the opportunity to come to Bambali, they can also see our culture and see what they can gain and bring. And then the culture is an identity of everybody, and this cultural identity that brings us together, Cameroonians.
The event was crowned by the presentation of allegiance by the various dignitaries and cultural dances.
Away from culture, let's talk health. Now today, October 10 is observed as World Mental Health Day, set aside to raise awareness as well as mobilize efforts in support of mental health. This year's campaign is observed under the theme Mental Health and Well-Being for All, a global priority. Bukengo Wadi with details in this report.
Anxiety, stress, poverty, low self-esteem, discrimination, debt, childhood trauma, depression, job insecurity, loneliness, suicide, peer pressure, trauma, grief, drugs, alcohol and sexual abuse and more are some mental health issues plaguing an estimated 1 billion people worldwide who are overlooked.
Nearly 1 billion people live with a mental disorder. Every 40 seconds, someone dies from suicide. Too few people have access to quality mental health services. Many groups, including older adults, women, children, and people with existing mental health conditions, are at risk of considerable medium and long-term ill health if action is not taken.
With symptoms such as emotional outbursts, feeling hopeless, agitation, anger, suicidal thoughts, sleep difficulties, mood swings, fear, amongst others, the health condition is said to be prevalent in low and middle-income regions like Africa.
In low and middle-income countries, more than 75% of people with mental health conditions receive no treatment at all. And overall, governments spent on average less than 2% of their health budgets on mental health.
With one person dying every 40 seconds, the United Nations Secretary General states,
we can no longer ignore the need for a massive scale-up in investment in mental health. We must act together, now, to make quality mental health care available for all who need it. Addressing mental health is central to achieving universal health coverage. It deserves our commitment.
It is worth mentioning that mental health plays a fundamental role in ensuring that individuals, families, and communities work well for better productivity and positive contribution to this society. To this regard, World Mental Health Day, experts say being physically and socially active, eating a healthy diet, doing activities that one loves, practice good sleep patterns and routines are ways to protect and promote our mental health for a long time.
In a related story, as Cameroon joins the rest of the world to commemorate World Mental Health Day, some health experts and psychosocial workers have been drilled on mental health related issues. This is in a 6-month workshop as Youth Elos Kaletlu.
Regarding World Mental Health Day, Project Bright Mind, a mental health and psychosocial support program, have during a 2-day training focused on what mental health entails, the myths surrounding it, mental disorders, the kind of persons to address, depression, eating and anxiety disorder.
Within this program, I have come to realize that what I had in mind as concerns mental health is not actually what mental health is all about. Before now, I believe that mental health was for those who were actually sick. But I had to learn that mental health, those are the people who are fine, and if you are sick, then you have a mental disorder.
Learned quite a lot. It's okay to fail. It's okay to start over. It's okay for things to not go the way you want. You who is out there, I just want you to know that there is nothing wrong with you. You just need to speak out.
An initiative that started with an objective to raise awareness on young persons dealing with mental health issues in Cameroon, and also to debunk the myths and traditions around mental health not being a subject, more like a taboo. This project will run for 6 months, and the training will involve young persons around crisis-affected regions, starting with Boya, since young persons and IDPs are more exposed to external stress dealing with the ongoing crisis.
The mental health workshop with mostly young people from different categories. I played the role of a facilitator, and my key module was on the importance of mental health. We make sure that we don't just talk about it, but we actually internalized.
During this training, personnel, other mental health experts, counselors, facilitators drill participants on dealing with abuse and how to get out of it. Participants also shared some of the problems they were dealing with.
We're very grateful to all the participants. We had over about 30 participants from different municipalities expressing themselves and telling us just what exactly is hurting them. We're looking forward to making sure that mental health is indeed a health issue, becomes important, and people can remember that mental health is not a taboo.
In order to avoid mental health issues, people should know that it is okay not to be okay. It's okay to be human, and human beings go through different things, and sharing a problem will avoid mental health.
Coming up next, several shops have been reduced to ashes at the Nkongsamba Central Market following a fire incident that occurred at the early hours of Saturday, October 8, 2022. No human life was lost, but material damage is said to be enormous. Get details right ahead. This is what is left of the shops that were ravaged by wild flames at the Nkongsamba Central Market. Traders, especially those affected, watch helplessly at what their lifetime investments have been reduced to. According to sources, the fire broke out in one of the shops before spreading to nearby shops, consuming every item on its path. It was thanks to the prompt intervention of elements of the firefighting brigade that the flames were prevented from extending to other parts of the market. I was here when the fire started. Thanks to firefighters. They've really worked. Thanks to their commander. He should be compensated. Thanks again, firefighters. The incident put municipal and security authorities to the scene. Very early this morning, we worked in synergy with the police and elements of the firefighters brigade, and we want to salute their bravery and efforts. Despite challenges we encountered, they worked hard. As the inferno was destroying parts of the market, men of the underworld were busy transporting merchandise from other shops. Before my arrival at about 3 a.m., others had seen the fire from a distance and rushed here, opened the shop and took out items. Before my arrival, the shop was empty. People had stolen. The damages caused are reported to be enormous, as victims are still in shock over what they have lost. Though locals have attributed the incident to poor electrical connections, the real cause is still to be determined. Note that the incident comes few months after Marche Bay, still in Nkongsamba, suffered a similar fate. To this effect, business persons, residents, and authorities have been called to be more vigilant. Now, the annex building of the Cameroon News and Publishing Corporation, SOPECAM, has been damaged following a fire incident on Saturday, October 8, 2022. Nicole Tako completes the story.
A portion of the Cameroon News and Publishing Corporation, SOPECAM, has been ravaged by wildfire. The fire incident took place on Saturday, 8 October 2022 at about 7 a.m., consuming the building housing the human resource sector of the company. Firefighters and safety services intervened and struggled to bring down the flame. Few hours after the fire was brought down, the Director General of SOPECAM, Marie-Claire Nana, released a communique saying the human resource structure had been completely destroyed and some archives lost. Fortunately, other sectors of the company like the Director General's office, editorial office, and the printing sector were not destroyed. The general manager has therefore assured that work will continue as other technical units have been able to maintain the smooth functioning of the company. SOPECAM is a company that offers printing services to state-owned newspaper Cameroon Tribune and other publications. Meantime, citizens have been reassured that everything is in order and the usual print run will be respected in order to meet consumers' needs, while findings have been launched to detect and find out the root cause of the fire outbreak.
Away from the series of fire incidents in Cameroon, at the weekend, a one-month-old baby has disappeared in a saloon in Banga, Mungo division of the Lithowa region. Following her disappearance, security officials in the town of Banga have opened investigation to track down the person who carried the baby away. Get details in this report compiled for us by Catherine Kongwe.
Distress and confusion is the order of the day in Banga, Mungo division of the Littoral region of Cameroon, following the disappearance of a one-month-old baby girl in a hairdressing salon precisely in a place known as Quarter 3. According to the brother of the lady, whose name we got as Marie, she went to the said salon with the baby to do her hair. My sister told me that she visited the hairdressing salon just a stone throw from her shop to do her hair. Her child fell asleep and she decided to leave the baby there after fixing her hair, since she was not far away. After some time, she returned to check on her but couldn't find her. This eyewitness narrates that a woman got into the salon and began playing with the baby before taking her away. A lady got into that salon, wanted to do her hair. When they finished plaiting her hair, she carried the baby, pretending to be playing with her. The owner of the salon asked her to leave the child to sleep. The lady replied that the baby was already up, just for the salon woman to discover later on that the lady left with the baby. Marie has, with the help of family members, reported to the Banga Gendarmerie Brigade, and investigations have been opened to find the person who must have intentionally carried the baby away. It should be noted that few weeks back, a similar incident occurred in Mutsengene, southwest region of Cameroon, where a 6-month-old baby got missing, with almost the same storyline. Thus, the need for vigilance and prudence is advised.
Now, social media users were taken aback after a man married 4 wives legally on same day in the south region of Cameroon. The man, identified as a Hebrew Augustine who says marrying many wives is a way to satisfy his bridal cravings, has revealed plans of getting a new wife in the days ahead. Nolinga with details right ahead.
The images are still fresh on the minds of many as man legally marries 4 wives in Cameroon on the same day. Mr. Ihimbrou Augustin Kum, who's estimated to be in his early 60s, goes narrating how it all began.
When I was at a young age, I get married to these young ladies. I took them very small and maintained them. I went to see the parents and give what they asked me. Because of what? As I told you in French, that love covers everything.
But what does the state say about this comportment? Nkwa Vandeline is the mayor of Lukunje, the locality in the south region of Cameroon, who legalized this marriage contrary to popular opinion.
Le comportement doit être encore plus soudé parce que ce que nous faisons ici, c'est de vous souder plus que jamais par le passé.
For about 30 years, Mr. Augustine and these women had been living together with the man, but with no wifely titles attached to them. While the population is yet to get abreast with the legal wonder, Mr. Augustine now makes known his intentions of getting a fit wife soonest.
I was forced to get married to the first, as I told her I was very bridal. I cannot be able to cope with her alone. That's why I took the second, and the second I went to the third, I finally went to the fourth, as this number 5 is not online.
Yes,
with 4 marriage certificates handed over to the wives and 1 to the husband, this day goes down memory lane as one man marries 4 wives instantly in Cameroon.
To education, the Catholic University Institute of Boye has carried out an orientation ceremony of students of the Douala Bonaberry campus. Chaired by the president of the institute, the event was aimed at introducing the newly admitted students to the faculty and staff, as well as the administration structure of the school. Joy Ngong attended the event and now reports.
The 2022-2023 academic year for higher institutions has kick-started, and the Catholic University Institute of Buea is taking turns to orientate its freshmen on the services and facilities provided by the institution. After Buea, the intellectual exercise was carried out on Saturday, October 8 at the Institute's Douala Bonaberi campus. The newly admitted students were presented their staff, administrative structure, and the different offices.
It's always very exciting when we come to our satellite campus here in Douala. The students, just like yesterday in Buea campus, very excited to start another academic year. We were able to present to them all the different aspects that are unique to CYB and all the different services and facilities that they have available to them. So once again, it was awesome to see our new students this academic year.
Chairing the orientation ceremony, the president of the Catholic University Institute of Buea, Professor Victor Julius Ngo, was pleased with the massive turnout of students, indicating the progress made by the Douala campus this academic year.
The turnout reflects the number of candidates or students who have offered admission to. So I'm very happy with the turnout. And as I said, I told them very clearly that now we have a contract. They have to respect they are part of the contract, and we have to respect our part of the contract, so that at the end of the day they are 4 years stay in the case of the BSc and a 2 year stay in the case of HND. They and us will be very happy.
A turnout which can only attract more parents and students to the institution.
I want to reassure the parents, CYB is the place to be. It was the best decision that you made for your child. We will guarantee you that your child is going to leave CYB after having experienced a holistic education. They will be a better human being, a more productive member of the society. They will guarantee to make a difference in the world tomorrow.
The newly admitted students are thus familiar with their environment and are ready for this academic year.
The Chief of Batoke, His Royal Highness Molive Otto, has been called to rise above human limitations and be free from temptations of personal interest. The call was made by the President of the Court of First Instance, Libya Southwest correspondent Emmanuel C. tells us more.
Raising his right hand at the Court of First Instance in Limbe, Chief Molive Molungu Otto, ruler of the Batoke people and the royal man of Central Africa, took an oath and was sworn in as president of the customary court of Batoke. Through a ministerial order signed by the Minister of Justice and Keeper of the Seal, the customary court of Batoke is now open to try matters reserved for customary law. In the days, months, and years ahead, Chief Otto Molive will be sitting in judgment and trying cases from people of different cultural backgrounds, from Mukindi right through Idinao. But this is his commitment.
I think the commitment I'm taking before the customary court is that I have to serve the people with all diligence, with the fear of God, with all humility, and to uphold the custom and the culture of the people of Cameroon.
Introduced in Cameroon in 1962, this is what the customary court stands for.
The customary court is competent to try some matter like heritage, civil matters. They are not competent in criminal matters. So when it comes to criminal matter, they are supposed to cease with the court of first instance, which is competent to try those matters. The issue of witchcraft, tradition, the respect of cultural customary value. That is the area of competence.
The latitude has been given to Chief Otto Molive to exercise the customs based on the laws of the state and the customs of the people. Chief Ndiko Fonderson Henry.
I want to congratulate my friend, the Chief of Batoke, who is now wearing another feather to what he already has, several other feathers he has. We know, as mentioned by the President of the Court, the competence is from Mokindi all the way to Idinao.
It is a new dawn in Batoke, as appeal cases from the customary court will be tried at the Court of Appeal.
To sport, the 2022 edition of the WOM Council Tournament kicked off at the WOM Centenary Stadium in Menchum Division of the Northwest Region. 8 teams are competing in this year's edition worth 1.5 million francs CFA, as our Northwest correspondent Charles Kiba tells us.
8 teams to compete in this year's WOM Council Tournament 2022, bringing youths together, foster peace between the people living in WOM and the entire Menchum division. Bro Ephraim, organizing chair of the WOM Council Tournament, said with expectation to bring youths come together, live together, play together for peace and development, the WOM Council has placed at the disposal of teams to compete 1.5 million FCFA for football male and handball female. To some football lovers,
amateur football, and at this level of the competition, still at the beginning, I think that the level is at least encouraging, and I want to think that we keep training players at this level of competition, and then I want to think that maybe tomorrow, next tomorrow, we'll have a national team.
Sunday, October 9th kick-off at the WOM Centenary Stadium for the WOM Council Tournament that will run till December 18, 2022, witnessed a thrilling encounter between St. Martin's FC versus Samangwe FC, with Samangwe FC carrying the day, winning 3 goals as against 0 for St. Martin's.
We lost the match to Samangwe FC, 3 goals to 0. But I'm not angry because it's a football match. It's a game. One team must win. But I'm very confident my team is going to do more.
To WOM Council Mayor Drambong Anthony, do more to enjoy sports and love sports, because it does not only keep you fit but also a benefit to your health.
Cameroon's lone representative in the CAF Champions League are gradually making progress to the next stages of the competition. Meanwhile, Coton Sport held Royal Leopold to a draw in their home as they get set for the return leg in Gara. These and more be yours. And this report compiled for us by sports lady Young Besong Magdala.
Coton Sport FC of Garoua managed to hold Leopard Royal of Eswatini to a 1-1 draw yesterday in the first leg of the second preliminary round of the 2022-2023 CAF Champions League. The lone goal from the Cotonites was netted by Captain Maru Swaibu. The Cameroon League and Cup winners had the opportunity to carry the day when Swaibu scored again, but their second goal was ruled out. The goal that cost the equalizer from the hosts becomes the first goal Coton Sport FC has conceded in the last 10 games played. The return leg game comes up this weekend in Garoua. Away from that, Etienne Eto and Frank Mbella Etuga have been called up to the Under-23 national team by head coach Guy Frechin ahead of the Under-23 African Cup of Nations qualifiers. They have been added to the squad of now 32 players, summoned to camp this week to start preparations, though training was scheduled to run from September 30 to October 20. The coach's list contains 3 goalkeepers, a superfine attack compartment, a convincing midfield side, and a defense made up of fairly good choices. Former Cameroon international goalkeeper and legend of Canon Sportif of Yaoundé, Thomas Nkono, has joined the executive department of the club as second vice president. This decision was reached during a General Assembly meeting held on Saturday, October 8. The 66-year-old returns to his boyhood club as assistant to Mve Elemva Emmanuel. In the meantime, Young Sport Academy of Bamenda has signed 2019 AFCON Under-17 winner Ekoi Manfred. The 20-year-old goalkeeper and product of Besta Academy of Limbe comes back home after playing for Spanish 3rd Division club UP Langreo. Ekoi equally took part in the Under-17 World Cup in Brazil in 2019.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of today's edition of Prime News on My Media Prime Television. Coming up just after the news is Prime Hour with Kum Leonard and his team. My name is Fon Quinter. Good night.